So, all right, we are recording. Welcome to our team call. It's so fun. I mean, I love like the big calls we get to do with everyone, but I love these small calls too. And I'm super excited for tonight because we get to hear from the other leaders on this team. But before we jump into that, I posted in our team page about this Girl Boss apprenticeship. So some of you may have been in it last year when I ran it. I've talked about it on a bunch of different calls. I just haven't necessarily gone live on our team page about it. But if you check out the blog post I posted, it kind of explains what it is. But what it's going to be starting on March 4th, next Monday, it's going to be a 5-day group. We will be requiring your potential coaches to get a free 14-day trial of Beachbody On Demand if they don't already have it. So this is they would sign up with the 3-month Beachbody On Demand, but that gets them 14 days free. At the end of the group, we would tell them how to cancel. And within that group, we will be doing things from like, it would be like a normal free group where everyone checks in and does their sweaty selfie, but each day there's going to be activities that coaches would do. So, one of the activities would be, take that sweaty selfie and now go post it on your social media, and showing them how sharing your story on social media, they don't have anything to sell. So it's not being salesy, and they're going to be amazed by the support that they get. Things like, how do we add to our network? So each day there will be a task for them to do so that by the end of the week, they can see just how simple coaching is. And we've really been able to address a lot of those fears. So that's going to start Monday, March 4th. I'm going to be doing it, but it's not just going to be me. I'm going to have other like diamond and above leaders in there who also have potential coaches in there, and we're going to split it up. So of course, like they'll hear from me, but they're also going to be hearing from other leaders on the team, which I think is really, really nice. We're all going to kind of share our stories as well. So again, that starts next Monday. The group is in there. The blog post is in there. If you guys have other questions about it, it's just kind of like a mini sneak peek where we actually have them start taking action. And a lot of times it just helps kind of calm their fears about coaching. The other thing, if you guys were in the diamond bet, whether that was the diamond bet or diamond side bet, I posted in the team page just asking who qualified. Most of you have already sent me the screenshots like of your downline when you qualified, but I just like want that list in one place so I make sure that I don't miss anyone, because payouts happen at the end of February once everyone had a chance to hit Success Club. And Success Club, so I know February, like the beginning was like, what is going on? But I am so excited for like this last week and already this week, like my head is spinning. I feel so far behind today. Like I can't catch up, but in a really good way. It's like people are kind of waking up out of that, I don't know, like that deep freeze that like hit the whole country. Like people, I think, just went into hibernation. I'm not sure what happened, but now it seems like people are really, 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 ready to commit to a new program or coaching. So if you guys were inviting the beginning of this month and you're like, nothing is happening, go back and follow up with those people. We still another full 3 days. I mean, you can hit Success Club in 24 hours. You can definitely hit Success Club in 3 days. I also have a chat thread going for those of us pushing for Success Club. I just posted about it in my new coach group. So right now it's like the new coaches for January, February. But if you're like, man, I feel stuck and I want to push, go ahead and just send me a message and I can add you to that chat thread, or maybe I'll do a post in our team page and you can kind of comment beneath that. Again, we only have 3 days left in the month. So, it's things like, today I posted some of the videos that I posted in our team page where how do you hit Success Club in 24 hours? I'm going to post maybe some power hours in there so that we can all, sit down and do a real live power hour with someone, but very action-based. And hopefully as we all continue to sell those challenge packs and hit Success Club these last few days of the month, we're really feeling that momentum build. And then, I mean, March is such an incredible time. Like all of a sudden people are out of winter and thinking about spring break and thinking about summer and bikinis and all of that. So definitely a great transition month for us as we're looking forward. And of course we have Ultimate Portion Fix releasing, which is going to be huge. So, okay, I want to stop talking because I want to let the leaders on this team talk. So when was it? Beginning of February, I guess, is when New Leader Conference was held. And for those of you who don't know what New Leader Conference is, you have to have hit Star Diamond and then earned so many elite points throughout the year to even be invited to this conference. And I'll let them kind of explain maybe the difference between like going to Summit and going to something like New Leader Conference, but it is just so much more intimate and so much more focused on becoming like a very top leader in this company. And so for me, New Leader Conference was huge. I didn't even really know like what elite was when I went to New Leader Conference. And so it was huge and eye-opening for me there. So I'm excited tonight. It's Teresa Forehand, Amy Haas, Liz Krasna, and I know Corey is going to be jumping on as well. She's putting her kids down. So we're going to let her talk last, but they're just kind of give their takeaways and what they thought about it, and you know how and why it really can be that kind of game changer in your business. For me, it was a mental game changer for sure. So I am going to mute myself, and I don't know who wants to go first, but you guys just jump on and yeah, the floor is yours, guys.
I'll start. Get it over with. Go first. I have no one to compare myself to. So, but New Leader was amazing. I honestly had no idea really what to expect. Last year, I didn't even know that you got invited to this when you hit 1 star. I kind of think for me, being oblivious to certain things was better because I just focused on helping people. I didn't get so wrapped up in all the other little things, but it was so fun. It's a completely different experience than Summit. Summit is fun. Summit is really overwhelming. There's just people everywhere. There's 20,000 people. And this is, I don't know, what do you guys think? Like 250, maybe 300 people are at New Leader. So, and you're really surrounded by like new leaders in the company, which is just kind of crazy and surreal when you're there and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like with these people. So for me, you know, we get access to a lot of amazing trainings on. So I think you can really have as much training as you want to, as much as you want to push yourself. I tell my team that all the time. It's like, I have more stuff to offer you, but when it's just logistical stuff, like we have that, you know, you can learn that at any point. So really the biggest things that I kind of had 3 big points. I'm sorry, my French bulldog is down here like snorting. Like, so we'll put her outside. But I think it's very easy in this business to get wrapped up in what everybody else is doing. And say, what message do you send? What's your script? What do you do? If I know if I just have Lindsay Madaway's script, everybody's going to join me. She must have some secret message that's just phenomenal. And it's like, the truth is that's not it. It is just about doing the vital behaviors, you guys. Like if you really do the vital behaviors, which is what every single top coach there talked about in their trainings, then the business really works. You know, just don't waste so much time trying to figure out what everybody else is doing. I think it's make your own business, be unique, be yourself, share your story, because your story is what makes people connect to you. You know, we all have the same products to offer people. People choose someone like Liz to coach them over me because they connect with her journey more. And that's okay. You know, you want people to join who they connect with and who is going to help them be successful on this journey, because it is a journey. So I think that was really good for me to realize, because it is so easy to get stuck in that comparison game as much as we try not to. And then it's just funny because, you know, when I was a new coach, it was like, oh, well, I don't have as many followers. And then it was like, yeah, but I had my warm market that was amazing. And now it's like, you know, I have all these Instagram followers. That doesn't mean that people just come to you and want to buy your stuff and think you're cool. It's still like, so, you know, there's just excuses. And no matter where you're at in the journey of coaching. And it's just kind of overcoming those excuses. And then the other big thing I got is, I also think, you know, you have to set goals for yourself in order to keep yourself accountable and in order to grow in this business. But sometimes I think we get so wrapped up in hitting Success Club or rank advancing, and then we just beat ourselves up because we don't get there, or we're so down on ourselves because we don't get there. And it's like, I kind of had that moment a few months ago, and it was like, but truthfully, like, what else has coaching given me? You know, I really can't imagine where I would be in my marriage and my life if I wouldn't have decided to do this. I think I would have been stuck in a rut of negativity. You know, Cody, my husband, and I both do personal development every day. So I really, and then going on this conference, you know, I am like a work hard, play hard kind of person. So Corey and I, and Liz and Jenna and Amy had so much fun. Just, you get to be around each other and you get to meet these other women that you never had the possibility to. So for me, I like to focus on what are the other things that coaching has given me besides just extra income or, you know, just rank advancing and that kind of stuff. Because when you focus on those little successes, I think it really helps you stay motivated to work hard and to not feel like so let down on yourself if maybe sometimes you don't hit a goal or your goals change. So that was kind of my big things. Don't be afraid to set big goals. You know, I think it's also easy to not set big goals because then you're like, well, if I don't do it, I don't do it. Nobody knows. And you can set big goals because you can do it and you can accomplish it. I mean, truthfully, everybody there is just a normal person. Like, everybody there was a normal person. Kate, what's her name that everybody's obsessed with, a new person. This shows how much I look at other people's Instagram. You know, she's just a normal person. Like, that's all normal people. It's easy to kind of think they're perfect and they have every secret in the world, but they've just, I think, built a business on being themselves. So that was my big takeaways, more than just logistical training stuff.
I'll go next.
I was going to say, I'll go, but you talk first.
So my big takeaways were basically the very first speech that was given by Carl Deichler and one of the very last speeches that was given by Ashley Molstat. And Carl basically, he came on stage, you know, he talked about how amazing it was for all of us to actually be here at New Leader Conference. And he just talked about taking massive action. And that just really stuck with me because really, if you don't take any action, nothing's going to happen. And that's true in all parts of our lives, basically. If we're just going to stand still, we're going to be stagnant, and we're not going to move forward. So basically, he said that the behaviors create the outcome. So what we do as coaches, those vital behaviors are going to create our outcome. And that being committed, being clear with your goals, leaning in, stepping up, all of those are verbs. All of those are actions that we have to do to become successful. And to create a big business that we all want to create. So his talk was a little bit on the shorter end, but basically it was all about taking action, taking massive action in your business to move it forward. Because if we don't, then nothing's going to happen. And then towards the end of the conference, Ashley came on stage, and she only spoke for about 20 minutes, but every single point she said just hit home. And Ashley and I are very different in our personalities and our coaching styles, and it's just amazing to see how basically all of the speakers, there was Ashley Molstat, there was Amy Rada, Keisha Fitzgerald, and oh my gosh, all white and black, what's her name? Somebody give it to me.
Was it Ali Testatori?
Ali Testatori. I'm like white and black. She's always in white and black. So, and so all of those women are absolutely, completely different in their coaching styles, in their personalities, in the way their Instagram looks. So it's just, so Ashley came on and talked about why me, or why not me, basically. And she started about 5 years ago And she came to New Leader Conference as barely by the skin of her teeth a 2-star premier coach. She was working full time, and she even talked about how she was like, "Where are the working coaches?" You know, like all of us were like, "Oh my God, if I could just get a working coach." She was in that same spot just a couple years ago. So her entire talk was just an eye opener to me that, you know, why not? Why not me? Why can't it be me up there on stage in a couple years? But what she did, she said she just kept going. She said it was hard. It continues to be hard, but she keeps going one step at a time, and it turns into this big compound effect. And one thing that really changed in her business was her mindset change, of course, which everyone talks about in personal development. But she said, I took this entire page of notes from her talk, but she said that she knew she needed to be relentless in the ability that she knew she needed the relentless ability to believe she could be successful. So she needed to believe 100% all the time that she could be successful. And she talked about how everyone comes into this business the same. We're all just a baby coach at the very beginning when we sign up. Melanie Mitro did not become Melanie Mitro on day one. And success is only a matter of, it's only a matter of time before we get there. You know, we just have to continue to take action, continue to keep going one step at a time. She also kind of hit us with some hard truths, which I think every now and then we all need to kind of be slapped in the face, a little bit of hard truth. She said that you are the reason that you aren't successful. It's not your spouse. It's not your upline. It's not your team. That we have to take ownership of our success and be responsible for our failures. And I was just all of these things were like, oh my God, you're speaking to me. And then after we do that, we need to get to work. And leaders get to work. We decide what we want to do. We decide that we want to run. And then once we know for a fact that, yes, I want to be 5-star elite this year and I'm going to run with it. And that's my goal. That's everything in me wants to be that. Then when times get tough, I'm just going to keep going because I have a goal in mind and I have my goal set. And she also said, like all these little tidbits I wrote down, she said, in the beginning, it's commitment over confidence. And that with time, confidence will come. So just stay committed to your journey into this process of helping people and helping your team. And then that confidence in that you are running a successful business will come. Other things, get clear with your goals. What do you really want? And that it's, January or 2019 is just barely even started. We're about to finish our first quarter. We still have 3 more quarters left. And that it's still a blank slate. So we still, if I want to be top 10 at the end of the year, I could be top 10 at the end of the year if I wanted to be. I don't. I don't want to work that hard. But I'd love to be 5-star elite. And I just think you just have to set realistic goals for yourself. Realistic for me, top 10, that's not realistic for me. I have 2 little ones. I work crazy hours at the hospital. That's not realistic, and I'm not going to set my sights for that if it's not realistic for me. And what else did she say? I think that's it. Her talk it just blew my mind, and it just showed that our excuses can get in our way. She also talked about how we create excuses for ourselves, and we say, oh, well, I'm not successful because I don't have abs. Well, like Danielle Matoni, she's super successful because she has this rockin' body and she has these abs, but so is Coach Tulin, who is rockin' plus size fitness. And then, I can't be successful because like Teresa said, I don't have 53,000 followers like Amy Rada. And she said that Ashley was like, I know some superstar diamonds who only have 2,000 followers on Instagram. So it's not about the followers. It's not about the rock hard abs. It's about being authentically you, sharing your story, and people will come, and being consistent, taking massive action, setting clear goals, and having the belief in yourself that you can do it. So there you go.
All right. So I kind of have a little bit to touch on the same thing that Liz and Teresa had, but I think I want to kind of go back to the fact that Teresa, I felt her and I were kind of the same way. I had no idea that you could even go to I didn't even know what New Leadership Conference was. It was kind of like last minute around, I don't know, July timeframe. I was like, you know what? I just want to hit 1 star by my birthday and just see what happens. So I did it. And then I found out that I get to go to New Leadership Conference. I had no idea what it was about. I didn't get to go to Summit this past year. So I've never been to an actual conference yet, had no idea what to expect. But after hearing, everybody talk about how Summit can be so overwhelming and, you just feel like it's a whirlwind and you don't really get that one-on-one feeling and it just can be very overwhelming. I kept hearing New Leadership Conference is probably the best way to start. So I said, okay, well, let's give it a chance. But I will say that when it came down to it, I started getting very nervous because I didn't feel like I belonged there at all. I felt like I am a brand new coach. I'm going to be going up and, with these people that are 2-star, 3-star, whatever. And I only got there because I got my husband a diamond. And so I didn't feel, and I had some working coaches, but they kind of fell off. And I just did not feel like I was meant to be there. I went anyways. I was very quiet at first, but then I started talking to the other ladies there and gentlemen and found out that they're just like me. They're brand new leaders. They're all there. And I felt kind of guilty. I felt like I was stereotyping a coach. Like Liz said, you don't have to have rock hard abs. You don't have to have a huge following. I saw people there that were postpartum, like new little babies there. I had, there were people there that were plus size fitness. There was people there that had those rock hard abs. There were dads there. There were moms there. There's no stereotype. It's literally, and they say this, and at first it used to bother me, you have to make that decision. And I'm like, well, it seems harder than it is, but you really do. You just make that decision and take action and you can do it. And I feel like that was my biggest thing, is that it just really changed my mindset of, I did those steps to get there. I should be proud. And when you do take those steps, no matter if it's your best friend and you made them diamond, who cares? You did it. You built this business yourself and you earned that spot. So that was probably my biggest takeaway. Another thing that kind of rolls into that was I completely fell in love with Allie. Like Allie Tessitore, I've always liked her. I've, any kind of trainings that I've been in, I've really loved her story, but I didn't really know her background. So she did a lot of the training on, new coaches. But first she talked about how when she was first at New Leadership Conference, right before, she was like a 10-star. Well, then all of a sudden, everybody fell off. She went to New Leader Conference just as a 1-star. So she already built herself up and she had to start all over again. And one of the things I asked her, I was like, that's kind of how I feel. How did you do it? Well, she ended up the next day talking about it and, pretty much, she went to work. She started to be like, okay, I can't handhold anymore. And that was one of my things that I did with my coaches, was I started handholding. If somebody started with me and didn't start the trainings yet, and they were like, oh, how do I do a share cart? Well, I would just send screenshots. I'm not doing that anymore. So it's stepping back and really, taking those steps in the right direction that you did. So however you started as a coach, that's how you should do. You did the trainings too. You need to be able to find out who your leaders truly are going to be, because those are the ones that are literally going to do the trainings, do everything themselves. Yes, you help them along. You definitely guide them in the right direction, but make sure that you just make sure that you do not send them screenshots on stuff. Holly has done such a great job on those trainings. We can send them all kinds of things. I feel like even though we had a lot of trainings at this particular conference, Holly has done a really good job of giving us those resources that anybody could do this. and again, it was a smaller group setting. It was like 250, 300 people. And I really felt like you could just talk to people. You know, we had sit down dinners, we had breakfast together. I mean, after our workout, I had Haley, Autumn's sister, sit down next to me. I mean, it was just insane. But, you know, it was such a small setting, and it's definitely something that you want to get to because you can share it with your followers and say, look, I'm a normal person and I got to this spot so I can be with these top leaders. Let's see here. And I liked it because, again, I was really struggling with finding true working coaches. I can invite to challenge groups like crazy. And I feel like that is the first step of being a coach, is that you can just invite to a challenge group. But the scariest part is actually saying, oh, do you want to be a coach too? And I don't know why it was always so scary, but honestly, just like inviting to a challenge group, why wouldn't you want to invite somebody to this? This has changed my life dramatically, especially because I am, you know, pretty much a single working family. You know, my husband's the only one that works right now. We needed the money and we are making it work. Why wouldn't I want to reach out to people when they give me those cost objections? Why don't I reach out to them and say, hey, you know, look what this business has done? True. I mean, they probably won't sign up right away. You might have to work at it a little bit, but use these tools that, you know, Holly is giving you, such as, you know, this apprenticeship group. Katie and I just did one last week and it was a game changer. And I feel like my mindset from the past 2 weeks of going, I mean, I signed up 2 coaches last week. So, you know, and I haven't signed up a coach since July. So, you know, like an actual working coach. So it's definitely a game changer for your mind and for your business. And really, this could be amazing for anybody. So if you believe in yourself, you can do it.
Yay. Is Corey? Corey, you're on. Yay.
Yes.
Thank you. I know.
Sorry.
It was such a hard time.
Sorry for my delay. And I missed Teresa, so I don't really know what she said. So hopefully I won't repeat. But I had to get my kiddos to bed because I'm flying solo while hubby's gone. So I had like this huge, like big PowerPoint presentation for Emily's team. So I tried to condense for you guys. So I hope I'm not too boring. I'm just gonna try to like pick a few things out, but you know, I do tend to be long-winded, but I'll try to keep it quick. So for me, oh my goodness, like, yeah, I kind of echo what everybody already said, except Teresa, because I didn't hear her. But it was very much just a completely life-changing experience. I mean, not just the trainings that we learned, but just like, well, I did come on the end of this with Teresa, but just like the being with the girls on the team and having that time, like that's a fun part of coaching. And I think that was a part that really drew me in, was like the fun part. So I'm not going to lie when I say that wasn't like one of my favorite parts, was being with the girls and having fun. I mean, you know, so love that. But I kind of wish we could go every year, because the knowledge that was poured into us was unbelievable. I mean, and I think what was so awesome was there was such a big panel of coaches that like you got so many different perspectives on things. You know, you had the part-time coaches and the full-time coaches and the 10 stars and the, you know, so that part was just really amazing to see how wherever you are in your phase of life and wherever you are with the business, you can be successful with what you have and the time you have and everything. So one thing that I think every single person touched on was how important the vital behaviors are. I mean, every single day, it is our job, no matter how bad you feel, no matter how good you feel, it is your job every day. And in case anybody doesn't know, because I feel like there were girls on my team that were like, what are the vital behaviors? 4 things: press play, drink your shakes, personal development, and invite every single day. And I think I am guilty of always doing like those first 3 and kind of just pushing the inviting part under the rug. But like, no, like 100% those 4 things, no matter what, no excuses. And everybody touched on that. So I feel like that was huge. And I've been like trying to share that with my team a lot, because, you know, we kind of forget. I loved Carl. Carl made me realize that like, he really is just about like, the company is just really about helping others and serving others. It's, you know, he was the one that was like, block out the noise of SC and block out the noise of rank advancements and just help people. Our focus should always be helping people. And when you approach it that way, the business side comes. And I love that. I mean, he really stressed about fears. He was like, he made us repeat 16 times, you know, fear is not welcome here. Fear is not, and I to me, that touched me because I'm very fearful in a lot of my, like a lot of things I do. I let fear take over. Even just starting to coach, I was fearful, you know? So he said, fear is not the legacy you want to leave for your kids. And how many times do we tell our kids, you know, don't be afraid, go do it. But then you're not doing what you're saying to your kids. So he was really, I just feel like you should feel really good to have the CEO of the company truly care about people, like truly, like, oh, loved him. And then I think Liz touched on the fact that he was saying that, you know, you focus on your actions and not the outcomes, because the vital behaviors and things will take care of, they'll create the outcomes. So if you just focus on doing what you're supposed to do, you know, you'll produce what you're supposed to produce. So Allie was amazing. Everybody loved Allie. Allie was awesome. I loved Allie because she was talking about, you know, she has 3 kids. I have 4 kids. Her husband's gone a lot. My husband's gone all the time, you know, by myself. And so for work. But she, you know, she said leaders always step up no matter what. And she said, you know, speed of the leader, speed of the pack. And I feel like, you know, even my coach kind of felt this at the end of last year because she kind of tended to slack off a little bit. And then so her team, my team, the team that I'm a part of, kind of was slacking off because, you know, it just happens whether or not you want it to or not. And so, you know, no matter what, even if you feel like you're struggling and you don't want to go on, like you have to keep going because your team needs to see you doing it to do it too, you know? And so she, or one of them talked about, well, a lot of people talked about the importance of the 12-week yearbook. I haven't gotten it. I don't know if you girls have gotten it yet, but I need to buy that. But they were talking about how important it is to be planning ahead. And I'm a big planner, but I had not done that whole 12-week thing yet. I have now since I've come home, but they were saying that, you know, you should always have a 12-week plan every time, every 3 months, and that, you know, stay ahead of it. Don't wait for the next thing, because if you wait for the next thing, it's too late. And I will say, you know, she showed us how, like, you know, when Energize is coming out on a Tuesday, you know, send reminders 2 days prior to people. Well, you know, I did that and I sold, like, I think I had 4 links go through the day Energize sold because I had reminded, you know, simple things. And maybe this isn't a big deal to y'all, but for me it was. Like, it's just staying ahead of things and not waiting till you don't want to be the one, you know, announcing it the day it comes out, you know, with everybody else. So I'm definitely getting the 12-week yearbook. I think a lot of people should get that book. I don't remember who it was because this is like my paraphrased condensed notes, but they talked about how you want to share your vision with your team every single day, you know, like, or not even every day, but like just be very open and honest with your team and always share your vision, because you can't assume that they know it. And ask who wants to lock arms, ask who wants to run with you, because maybe they don't know that you believe in them, or maybe they don't even know what you're shooting for. And if they don't know, they can't help you get there. So be honest, be vulnerable, let them know. Let's see. One of them, I loved this, said, I think this was Keisha, I don't know. She said, be who you are and find joy in that. And I love that because, you know, I think sometimes if you're not having fun, you're not full of joy with it, is it filling you up? You know, is it filling your cup? And like, for me, like, I know everybody does this for different reasons, but at the end of the day, if you're not getting joy out of it, like, I think it shows. I think it, you know, people see you more as like a salesperson, and I don't know. So enjoy what you're doing. They talked about how consistency builds credibility, which builds confidence, and how, you know, even if you don't have anybody under you yet and you're not killing it with SC, always be consistent, you know, and then when you get consistent, people will start to believe in you and your credibility will go up, and then you'll get the confidence. And then so it kind of snowballs. And I've definitely seen that. I mean, I'm not high on the SC board every month because, I mean, I've got 4 kids, but I'm always in my groups and I'm always posting. And I've had a lot of cold market people reach out to me daily now because I just keep going, you know, so I think that's good. One thing somebody said that I loved was, if you didn't say yes to the first time when someone asked you to join, how can you be upset with others when they don't say yes the first time? And I was like, you know, because I mean, how many times do we get upset when somebody doesn't, you know, say yes? So you can't be upset. It's not about your timeline, it's about theirs. And so I love that. what else? I'm talking super fast, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get in on a fun thing. Or not fun. These aren't fun things. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is supposed to be fun or like helpful, but one thing that everybody talked about, and I'm sure Holly has put this in the group a lot, but I will admit I did not use this daily, but everybody talked about the Success Club Daily Business Activity Tracker. All day long, use that. Every single coach there talked about how, like, literally you should be doing that all day, every day, and not just like in the morning, check some boxes and you're done. No, like it needs to be out all day because there's things you're going to do all day to check those boxes. And they said if you follow that, like, you will be successful. Like, there's no other way around it. And then people really rarely succeed unless they're having fun, which I said. The only other thing that I liked, because I know I struggle with inviting, and I think a lot of people struggle with inviting. One of the girls said, just make it kind of a game. And she said, do 11 and a 22 rule. So set a timer and just invite 11 people in 22 minutes. Like set the timer, on your lunch break or whatever, and just knock it out and try to make a game of it and be competitive with it, which was kind of fun because I know sometimes it just gets hard to do it. If you aren't in the right mindset. So, but that's, I don't know. I would encourage, like, literally, I came back and told my team, like, if nothing else, push for Star Diamond for this retreat, for this leadership, because it was that incredible. And I wish I could go every year. Like, I do it. Emily, my upline, Emily Swagger's my upline. She went last year, and I've been wanting to go since she went last year. And even this year, she was so envious. She was like, I want to be going because not only, are we being poured into constantly with all of these top coaches and the trainings, but it's just so fun and it changes your business, it changes your outlook, it lets you see so many different perspectives. And so I feel like if nothing else, push just to go to this, guys, because it's that amazing. So that's all I have.
Yay!
I also feel like
yes.
It's so different than Summit. Like Summit is just generalized coaching. You get to have fun with your team and work out with your team and all be together and you just kind of learn about coaching in general. But like new leadership is all about leading your team, putting in processes and systems to help your team become more successful and being a better leader. So, I know we talked about like vital behaviors and mindset, and I know that those are just the tips of the iceberg that we covered at New Leadership Conference. So it is I love Summit, and I love Summit because I went last year, and it was like super fun, but this was just so educational. I can't even talk. This was so just much more education and much more just fine-tuned about leadership and building a team and just growing a business. So it was super important to go.
Yeah, for sure. It is that next step in becoming like that leader. And for those of you who went to New Leader, the next goal, so I went to New Leader, and then the next year I went to Leadership, and Leadership's a step above New Leader Conference. Like, I know you guys can't believe that, but it is, so then Leadership is for 5-star and above coaches. So put that like on your vision board for next year for sure, or this year, if you guys are like, okay, well, I'm just ready to like rock this business. I think I would have to look at if you just look up Beachbody Leadership 2019, the qualification date is in the FAQ. But it's even smaller, even more intimate, even like higher level trainings. And this is what I love about this company is that they truly, and I love that you guys mentioned Carl, because I think I don't talk about Carl Deichler a lot, but I think it's like one of those things that like I've gotten to be around him a lot. And it is true, like his heart is in like, he's like, we are going to banish the, the obesity epidemic. Like that is his goal. And he is all in, and he believes in this company so much. And he built this company from the ground up. Like this is his baby. And so when he comes and speaks at these events, like he's not being a salesperson. And I don't know if you know, like his wife is one of the co-formulators of Shakeology. Like this is like their life. Like Isabel Deichler helped to develop Shakeology with Darren O'Lean. And so that's like her big passion. So I love that you guys brought him up, and just the fact that we have an amazing CEO that which I can't say that about every company I've worked for. Like, he believes in this so much because this has been his vision from the beginning, and getting to know him is incredible. And so going to these events, Summit, I'm really excited this year for Summit because they are making different tracks, where before it was like just everyone went to all the trainings, and the trainings were really geared towards like emerald level, or maybe like just hit diamond level. And this year there's new coach tracks. So for those of you who are coaches, there is track for diamond and above. When I say tracks, it's like trainings that you sign up for specifically based on your level, and then one for 2-star and above. So I will also say the last year at Summit, they had the general tracks the last 2 years, and then they had 2-star track. And that 2-star and above, very much like New Leader Conference or like leadership, where it is focused on how are you developing your team versus just, how are you consistently hitting Success Club and more of the building blocks of the business. And so if you guys are sitting here right now and you're planning to go to Summit, I mean, any of you can be 1-star and go to New Leader Conference, because we all have that. Well, hopefully we have that one account that we control, right? That's a given. Like, hit diamond. And again, I don't want to kind of go above and beyond, but once you guys hit diamond, the next thing we focus on is building another account to diamond, getting you to 1-star. And I love that Amy said, I kind of felt like, well, was that cheating? Like, having my spouse account be my 1-star, and like, that's how I got here, and did I qualify? She's like, of course that's not cheating. Like, I built that. That's a business I've built. I built this business just like anyone else. And so I really want you guys to have that confidence as you hit diamond and we move forward. And then 2-star, utilize that momentum, utilize the diamond momentum, utilize that 1-star momentum, make the mindset shift that Amy did, say, well, I haven't signed up a business builder since July, and can I do this? Well, am I meant to be here? And then she gets back, and 2 weeks later, she signs up 2 business building coaches. It is mindset. It's believing in what you're capable of. And just like you guys mentioned, I mean, a lot of this is mindset. And so truly think about what you want to be, and I like that people, Liz talked about it, and Teresa, I mean, you guys all hit on it too, like, set your goals based on what is feasible, but what also stretches you. So why not try to get to that leadership level by Summit, right? And qualify for that track. But also, if you're like a brand new coach and you're like, whoa, I've got 4 kids at home and a husband who travels all the time, maybe that's not feasible. So set yourself up for success, but also stretch yourself. And as Corey mentioned, the 12-week year, if you guys haven't read that, that's one of my favorite books that transformed my business a few years ago. I set quarterly goals. Every single quarter I have goals, and that's what your 12-week years do. They set up your goals. I set my quarterly calendars. I'm already starting to work on my April, May, June calendars, so I know exactly what I'm talking about, exactly what I'm committing to in those months. And it takes into account personal things too, right? Like, I'm having a baby in April. So what does that look like for that quarter? How do I set those goals, and how do I plan for that? So 12-week year is a game changer for sure. And also in terms of realistic but stretch goals too, because you've got to push yourself in this business for sure. Do you guys have questions for them? I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
Actually, I had a question for Teresa and Liz and Corey. Do you remember the guy that talked and made the origami birds? What was his name? Do you remember? I don't know. His particular speech brought like everybody to tears, and it was pretty much, how, we need, just like you were talking about with Carl, his heart and soul is in this too. Gosh, that's gonna bug me. If somebody remembers, let me know. I don't know if Liz remembers or not, but pretty much it was just like, this business is, can be helpful for anybody, reaching out to that mom of 4 kids that, is a single mom and is struggling making meals for their family. We have the tools now to be able to save money and make healthy meals for their families, and things like that. And it was just so, I guess, eye-opening, like, holy crap, this is not just a business and we're trying to be salesy. It really is, we are trying to help people. So I didn't know if you guys remembered, but he made me cry. So it was amazing.
I love that. And the more people, so it's funny, I had another coach reach out to me. She's a 7-star diamond coach in the top 50 in the company. And she was like, how do you talk about coaching so naturally every single day? She's like, you literally talk about coaching every day. And yet, like, I'm not sick of hearing it. Like, I don't hate you for talking about coaching every day. And a lot of that goes back to what Amy said and what Corey said about joy. Like, my joy, legitimate joy in this business is working with coaches and helping them, even if it's like, I just need a couple extra $100 every month so I can send my kids to the sports they want to go to, so I can pay for Christmas. Like, I don't need to be a top 10 coach, but I do need that extra income. And knowing we have the solution. I have a solution for that. So like Carl's like crazy, like, I have a solution for the obesity epidemic. I'm like, I have a solution and you can make money from home with your kids. Like, why wouldn't you do this? This is incredible. And so like, I believe that 1,000% in the depths of my soul, because I watch people do it every single day. And it brings me joy. I love it. Like, I love being with Sam, and then I love doing this. Like, my life is so boring, so I really don't have a lot to talk about on social media except Sam and except coaching. But it doesn't matter because I'm so happy in my life. So find that joy and find that belief, and it will change. It'll change everything. Like, I believe it. I know it. I watch it every day. And you guys watch it every day too, because you see leaders on this team doing it. Just in the last 2 weeks, this team has 6 new diamonds. You guys, anyone can get to diamond, and any of you can find those coaches who are going to get to diamond and get you to star diamond, who you can help change their lives. You will start getting messages from coaches crying. I got another one tonight from a coach crying. Yeah, Amy, her like first month in the business, her first paycheck. I have messages from coaches crying because this has changed their life. You have that gift to give. And when you believe it and find that joy, talking about coaching every day is so easy. It's when you start getting in your head, kind of like Amy said, like she was in her head, like, oh, like, can I do this? Why am I not finding, like Liz mentioned, like Ashley Molstad said, like, I couldn't find a business builder to save my life. And when you feel like you're just trying, you're like, nothing is happening. Like, you've got to dig into that PD. You've got to dig into your joy, and you've got to dig in deep with your belief. And when you stop believing, why would anyone else believe? So, oh, Kim Carver, Amy, Kim is the best. Kim Carver's the best. He's the best. I love him. Yeah, Liz, show up for you, show up for other people, like show up for your family. I am not Teresa, Kate, it was Kate Morgan, now it's Kate Schultz.
Yeah.
I have never been a Kate Schultz. I have never been a Kate Morgan. That wasn't me. I didn't rise to the top in 2 seconds. I just showed up. I did a story the other day with me and like a Team TNT tank. There were 3 people on my team, and none of those people were business builders. But I named my own team, and I made team shirts, and I posed in them in front of mirrors, and I told people I'm going to be a top coach. Who cares? Like, I believed it. I don't know where all this belief came. It came out of pulling myself out of a depression and finding joy. It's all about that joy. I was so depressed. I found something that I was so joyful about. I had to share it with everyone. Believe like that. Like a crazy person.
Well, I had no choice. I mean, Justin was working 5 jobs, full-time and 4 part-time. I had to. And now he's working his full-time, and then he has his own business that, he does whenever he can. So yeah. I had to. I have no choice. So I have to show up every day. So I had to get out of my head. So I'm so grateful I went because my mindset has just completely shifted.
I think that's what's so huge. It's like, guys, don't get so wrapped up in feeling like you have to talk about retiring. I can't talk about any of that stuff with my job on social media. But I talk about how my student loans are not a 20-year term anymore. It's going to be 2 years. And I'm not making millions of dollars coaching. Like, you just have to be yourself. And you have to talk about what helps you. Don't read other people's and try to replicate what they're doing. Just be authentic. And it makes you feel so much more free to be like, I'm just going to, and I remember Ashley Laughlin said one time, she goes, likes don't equal income. So I really don't care how many likes I get. And I was like, that is so true. Like, who cares if these bloggers have 5,000 likes on their Instagram? They're not, I will tell you, you don't just get more money by getting Instagram followers. That's not how it works. It's easy to assume that. But
I was just listening to the Shailene Johnson, her podcast today. And literally he said, he was like, if you have 1,000 like loyal followers, like loyal, you can build $1 million business. So yeah, it's in one way it's a numbers game. In another way, you have got to be yourself and connect with those numbers. Otherwise the numbers mean nothing.
Yeah. The numbers are helpful, but you still have to put the work in. You still have to invite them.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, do you guys have any questions for them before we let everyone off? All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you all so much. This was amazing. Sometimes I think it's just nice to hear from other coaches, who like just other leaders on this team who are rocking this business and doing it. You guys all are like, have very different lives, which I love. Actually, everyone who went to New Leader Conference, like seeing you guys together and like, drinking your champagne, you're all like so different in such different lives. And like you said, you make this business work for you because you show up every single day. So yay, thank you guys. And I will, I'll post this recording for everyone. And if you guys have questions about New Leader Conference or 1 Star, any of that, let me know. So, all right, guys, night.